Hello everyone, welcome to Bare Naked Lifting. My name's Sam. Thank you for being here right from the start. This is episode number 1, so thank you in advance for your support. Today we'll be talking about overcoming the fear of getting under a snatch quickly. It's a topic I chose because all beginners go through it, yet there doesn't seem to be much information about it, about what's going on. So we'll go through your fight, flight, freeze response, some drills and exercises to make you more confident, and ultimately make you a faster, better lifter. So the most common types of fear that you see, there's 3 examples. There's a freeze response. They're the times where you sort of pull the bar nice and high. You've got all intention to go for it. It's a big lift, you're pumped, everyone's watching, and you just freeze. You drop the bar, you're standing bolt upright, you haven't even tried to squat under it. The whole gym's looking at you, sort of asking, why don't you get under it? And you're kind of asking yourself the same question. You're just kind of frozen there like a stunned meerkat. So that's like a freeze response. A flight response would be something like you overpull. So all your lifts have been nice and strong, nice and smooth, pulling up, chest height, getting under. Then as it gets heavier, you kind of try to pull harder. You try and overcompensate. You keep pulling, and you're relying on pulling it to sort of your forehead, even above it, and turning into a power snatch turned squat. The reason you're doing that is because obviously you're hesitating to get under a lot faster. So you're relying on getting a hell of a lot stronger to pull the bar a lot higher, making it much less efficient. In weightlifting, we want to be as efficient as possible. The other way the flight response can kick in is those times where you sort of hedge your bets. You're sort of going for a snatch, but you deliberately, sort of on purpose, keep the bar out in front just a little bit so you can squat under. But because the bar's just sort of here rather than straight overhead, if you're strong enough and good enough, you can sort of correct and make the lift. But if you don't really like it, the barbell's already kind of out of harm's way because it's in front and you can just bail out easily. What these all have in common is that there's a lack of trust between your mind and body. Your mind wants to make the lift and your body just flicks this switch and says, not today, mate. So it's a protective mechanism. So why does this fear response kick in? Fear stems from not wanting to get hurt. Your brain doesn't ever want to put you in danger. So it's a very protective instinct. They call it a very primal instinct. Just think, for us to survive, we had to react very quickly. If something's attacking us, even today, if you step out onto a road and all of a sudden there's a car there, you'll step back without thinking. You don't have time to think. So it doesn't go through the conscious mind. That's too slow. You don't have time to weigh up options. What if I do this? What if I do that? What if that happens? Actually, am I really in danger? It doesn't have time, it just reacts. This is why we call it, you react instinctively. So what we have to do is we have to train our body that snatching is safe, that it is okay to have a heavy weight over our head. And that way your mind and body will start to trust each other and work together. And you've experienced this snatching, weightlifting. There's been moments where you've gone up to the platform, you're going for a heavy weight, you're going for a PB, you're absolutely psyched up, the whole gym's amped, your favorite song's on, the chorus is blaring, you're ready to go, chalk all over your back, you're pumped. You lift the weight and at some point there's just this switch and your body just kind of stops, and all that conscious thought of I'm going to commit, I'm going to pull, I'm going to get under, I'm going to do all these things, all of that is just overridden. That's the amygdala kicking in, flicking the safety switch and just saying, I don't like this, shut down. That's also why after the lift, you're left a little bit perplexed and you're kind of like, shit, I don't know what went wrong. Why did that happen? It didn't have time to process it through your conscious mind. So what we're dealing with is how to overcome this instinct response. How do we turn this flight or freeze response into our third option, third reaction, which is our fight response? First step is just understand the body is doing what it's meant to do. It doesn't want 100 kilos falling on your head. It doesn't want 40 kilos falling on the back of your head. So it's doing what it's meant to do, which is trying to protect you. The problem is we want to do weightlifting and we want to lift heavy weights, and to do so we have to move fast. We want fight mode. Now, the easiest example I can give you of this is think of like a martial artist. Your Jackie Chan movies. If someone came at me with, let's say, a sword, because the sword sort of comes from overhead, barbell overhead, sword coming from overhead. If someone came at me with a sword, because it's the 1400s all of a sudden, my reaction, my primal instinct would be to fucking cover up and cower down. Now think, as a target, someone who cowers down on all fours, covering up like this, is an even easier threat. I've put myself in a more vulnerable position, but that would be my reaction. Through mental and physical reps, training, a martial artist, a kung fu karate specialist would actually learn, instead of that, they will actually step in and close the distance, immobilize the arm, the danger arm, the one with the sword, and counterattack at the same time. The reason I say this is it shows that it can be done, but it does take training. It took them years of training to react that way. But the big difference is their body, their mind and body know that that is the best reaction in that circumstance. And through training, I don't have to think about it. I just react more instinctively. We, me, mere mortal, we react the wrong way. We try and run, not a good runner, or cower, very easy target. So we just have to retrain the circuitry through reps, physical training, and mental. And by doing so, your mind and body kind of align, and that fear response diminishes. And as you'll hear people say, even in medical situations, if you've ever had to do first aid, my training took over. And that's what we're looking for, the training to take over, not the freeze or flight response to take over. We want fight to be the reaction that you take. So think, martial artist, closing the distance, immobilizing the danger hand, and counterattacking, controlling the person they're up against. Weightlifting, we have to keep the barbell close and keep control of the barbell. That way we know where it is in space and time. We know exactly where we are, we know where the barbell is. We call it proprioception. The easiest term is control. As soon as you're out of control, we're waving into fear. Keep things in control, that brings confidence, trust, speed, fight. That's what we're looking for. So ironically, step number one, I believe, is learn how to bail. And I know this sounds a little bit contradictory because here we are talking about fight mode and yeah, let's go get it. But first we have to create that safety buffer. We have to build some trust. So the difference between the martial artists at the moment is that they trust their abilities. At the moment, you have some ability, but you're not really sure how to get out in case things turn sour. So, power snatch, deliberately drop the barbell behind your head. In front, you've done 1,000 times. Don't worry about that. Behind the head, things from behind, that's what horror movies, things from behind is what scares you. Sharks, whatever it is. In front, not so much. Deliberately catch, drop the weight, walk through. Sit in a snatch, sit at the bottom, drop the weight, jump through. On the way down, drop the barbell. All the different positions, just learn how to bail out. What you're doing is that you are teaching your body that I can bail out of this whenever I want and it is safe to do so. You're building trust. Through that trust, your body starts to learn, okay, this movement is actually a lot safer than I thought. I've done this so many times now. I've dropped this weight to the point where it's gotten boring. And that's what we want. We want it to become boring. Think the first time you do this, you might actually get a little bit giggly. You might be like that naughty kid at school. It's kind of like, oh, I dropped the barbell behind me and it feels a little bit awkward. And it's like, no shit. I mean, people are dropping weights all the time. This is what we do. If you're getting that reaction, if you're getting that funny sort of reaction, it just shows that you're a bit uncomfortable because you've never done it before and you've got all reason to be. But if you're uncomfortable, that means that it's new and strange and different and unknown. All of these things is what leads to hesitation and or fear. Once you've done it, seriously, probably only about 3, 4, maybe 5 times, it starts getting boring. You'll start doing it. It's like, okay, done this. Sam, what can we do next? Can I start lifting heavy now? Yeah, sure, go for it. Just think your brain has already changed. It's gone from this is new and strange and I don't really know what's going on to I'm bored, can we do something else? Within those reps, you've already got a different mindset. What that's also shifting is that your body is now learning, okay, in any position of a snatch, I can bail out safely. I am never, ever, ever in danger. Your brain is now learning to trust your body. This trust is what completely reduces the fear response. So just think, at the start we had freeze. I refused to get under, but up here I wanted to, but something just froze. Flight, I'm going to keep pulling it so I can catch in a power snatch position, which is a lot stronger, safer, and I'm not putting myself in harm's way. Or the other flight, I'm going to put it out in front a little bit, hedge my bets. If I make the lift, great. If not, it's an easy bail. We're now turning those two into fight. We've gone from freeze or flight into fight and or bail if needed. They're two much better responses. We're now saying, hey, I can now fight, I can now get under this as fast as possible, and then if I don't like it, I can bail out. I don't need to be protected until I'm at the bottom and I feel, can I make this lift? Yes or no? Now I can bail out. Either way, it's safe. I can get all the way down with no hesitation, no fear, full speed, and then decide if I go through with the lift or not. Completely different mindset, takes away all the hesitation. Step number 2 though, the little caveat, you've got to get a strong lockout position. A strong lockout position is absolutely imperative to snatching. I've put this as step number 2 because if you can't find your strongest position overhead, you're always going to be battling. So just think, strong joints, I use a punching analogy. Steve uses the finger one, and this is a lot better for a camera. Lock your fingers, push down. Push down as hard as you can and they don't budge. Flex just a little bit and they're very, 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 very weak. Same with your arms, shoulders. Locked, very strong. Unlocked, very, very, very weak. Now, obviously a strong lockout, strong means you can hold a heavier weight. But the other advantage it has is in a locked position, you're usually a lot more stable. Just think, if you've ever held a heavy weight, bench press comes to mind, sat under a heavy bench press, you haven't done it for a long time or maybe forever. You start shaking before you even start. That's your central nervous system trying to control everything, but because it's such a new stimulus, it's overstimulated, it's trying to recruit everything it can. What you'll see in the top lifters is regardless of the weight, they always look stable. Everything's very deliberate, everything's very smooth, like a dancer, like a gymnast. It all looks very fluid. Another word for that is it's more coordinated. That shaking is your central nervous system. Central nervous system talks to the brain, brain talks to your central nervous system. If it's communicating that there's a little bit of shaking going on, shaking is instability. Instability is scary. Scary means warning lights. Warning lights can lead to, let's get the hell out of here. So in a locked position, obviously you're stronger, but you're also better coordinated because a joint is a lot more stable than sitting in your muscles. If you're having to roll around looking for your lock position, if you're one of these people that rolls their shoulders and elbows as you come down or something like that, I would honestly just get a weightlifting coach, not a personal trainer, not a strength coach, get a weightlifting coach, fix your lockout position. You will fix your coordination, not just strength, but also your coordination. You'll be a lot more stable. As long as you are stable and you have an exit plan, point number 1, you've got a bail option, there is absolutely no reason you can't get under a snatch safely and be confident to have that fight and or bail response there as standby if you need. So we've now built a lot more trust. Your brain has an exit plan. It also trusts your body can hold a heavy weight. The third step, the last ingredient, I believe, especially for beginners right from the start, learn and get comfortable moving fast. Weightlifting is a speed strength sport. We have to move fast to be as efficient as possible. Personally, I believe the time to start getting used to that is right from the start. Things like particularly drop snatches are a personal favorite. I don't care if you can only quarter squat. I really don't care. Just get used to moving fast. The best analogy for this would probably be driving. The first time you're driving, you'd be doing like 20 kilometers an hour on a little single dirt road. You might have a tree over there, there's a fence and there's a sheep, God knows, there's whatever. As you're driving along, you haven't done this before. You're gripping the steering wheel like this. You're a little bit hesitant. You don't really know what's going on and you start catastrophizing. What if that tree suddenly blows over and hits the car? What if that sheep jumps the fence and comes running in front? What do I do? What do I do? You're looking at all these things and panicking. As you get a bit more comfortable, experienced, you can start to relax a little bit more and your body starts to learn that you control the car, not the other way around. You control the barbell, not the other way around, like your martial artist. You control what's going on. As you start to learn that control, you realize that tree is only a threat if I veer the steering wheel like this, floor the accelerator, and go smashing into it. Otherwise, I'm pretty freaking safe. So as you learn control, and as you learn, or as you build confidence, you tend to start to drive faster and faster and faster. 20 kilometers now turns into 40 kilometers, into 50 kilometers, into 60 kilometers, into 60 kilometers with one arm and the window down, getting a nice trucker's tan on your arm. At some point though, you're going to reach a speed where the only way you get comfortable doing it is by doing it. The only way you're going to get comfortable driving on a freeway at 110 kilometers an hour, 120, is to actually do it. The first time you do it, even if you've done 90,000 times for hours and hours and hours and hours, the first time you go to 110, you're a little bit, how are you going? You slowly get a bit more experienced and it becomes absolutely nothing. This is very similar to snatching. Learn that it's safe, build confidence. With the safety behind you and the confidence, you will naturally start going faster. However, there is also a point where you do have to go very fast. The faster you can go, the faster you can get under the barbell, the better you'll be. And this is where, again, a coach can look at you and say, this is all great, you're hitting all the positions, but I need you faster, I need you faster, I need you faster. Now, it's unfair for us to say, I want you to lift a heavier weight and to lift it faster. That's made it compoundedly harder. So let's get used to moving fast really early on. Drop snatches, I think, are the best way. It's a very simple exercise. Beginners are learning lockout positions and everything else as well, and they're fast. If you can't be comfortable moving a lightweight fast, you will never be comfortable hitting a heavyweight fast. Don't wait until you're snatching near body weight or something like that before you start going, shit, I should start thinking about speed. Do it from the start. So here's the really cool thing about this sport, which I'll try and drill home to beginners really early on. Think back to year 10 science. A 20 kilo barbell and a 100 kilo barbell dropped from a bridge fall at the same speed. If you can pull 20 kilos to here and get under it, you only need the same speed. You just have to move at the same speed under the bar for 20 as you do 100. That now opens up a lot of possibilities. Let's get rid of this power snatch to squat. Let's get rid of this fear response of throwing it out in front. No. Every lift now becomes the same as long as you move at the same speed. So to wrap all this up, I've probably been talking too long. We'll find out. Step number 1, learn how to bail. Let's turn your flight or fright response into fight and bail if needed. Create a safety net, create trust through mind and body. Step number 2, get really strong in your lockout position. Learn to go straight there in your favorite position with absolutely no wobbling. Strong overhead, more weight. No wobbles, no panic going through the body. And step number 3, get fast. Get faster. Don't just rely on doing enough, being fast enough to make a lift. Try and do it quickly. Make that your norm. Once you understand this on a conscious level, weightlifting now shifts from it being a sport of, I hope I can make this lift, there's a little bit of doubt and fear, to, I bloody want to make this lift. I want to go for it. That's the confidence I'm trying to kind of open your eyes up to with this episode. So thank you very much for watching. Any feedback that's nice, I would love to hear. Any that's not so nice, maybe just a smiley face at the end of it, just to sort of ease it, I don't know. But thank you, episode number 1 now in the bank. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Thank you, bye-bye.